All right, guys. Going forward, and I'm telling how long we're going to be in this situation. We're going to do about a lecture a week, and so this week's going to talk about introduction to sports sales. So the reason we talk about sales in this introduction class is there are more jobs in sport associated with sales than any other thing, and about 53% of the jobs in sport require sales as a skill of some kind. So one of the things I always ask people is, well, when you think about the words professor, what kind of things always come to mind? And a lot of times it's intelligent, articulate, things like that. And then I'll ask people, when you talk about consulting, and they'll tell me things like smart, know what they're talking about. Well, when you ask somebody what comes to the words about salesman, a lot of times they think about words like sleazy, a car salesman. That's what everybody thinks it is. When in truth, it's nothing like that. These are just kind of some things that come to mind. That they're pushy, that they're manipulative, and it's just not what it is, guys. It's just not what we're dealing with. It's not what happens in sports sales. So why sales? The reason is that there's opportunity. So in a hypothetical sports team with 100 employees, 70 of those people are going to be in something associated with sales. It just gives you a better opportunity to get into the field. So what are some benefits to learning sales principles? Well, even if your job didn't have a title of sales, chances are you're selling something. Recruiting is selling. When you try to go out and get a job, you're selling yourself. And so everybody really is trying to sell something in the sports world. It just may not necessarily be under the title of a salesman. So it's very important that we learn this sales process and that we understand these jobs are out there. So what are they looking for salespeople? They want to be competitive, coachable, confident, emotional intelligence, meaning they want you to be able to relate to people and what they're feeling, passionate, positive, self-motivated, trustworthy. A lot of these things fit each one of you because you play a sport. That's why so many athletes end up in sales, because it's very, very similar traits. And when you get into sales, you're going to have job security. There's always jobs in sales. You can advance. They're paid very well, much better than most entry-level sales jobs. You're going to get immediate feedback, meaning you're going to know what's going well, what's not going well. You're going to hear a lot of no's. You're going to know when things aren't as good as they need to be. And sales offers a lot of variety in different types of jobs within sales. Most of your time, at least early on in sales, is going to be spent on the phone, okay, or servicing people who have bought tickets. But when you get good, you can transfer into things like selling box seats, selling sponsorships, selling to groups. There's a bunch of different ways that goes through it. So within an organization, sales fits on the business side. Okay, this is the same side that has finance, marketing. It's led by the president. The other side is much harder to get into, the operational side. This is the side that has players, scouts, coaches, athletes. So they're two distinct parts of the organization. And then within sales, these are just some of the opportunities for jobs. So inside sales is basically selling tickets over the phone. Group sales is selling to groups of people. Season tickets is exactly what it is. You're selling season tickets. Premium sales or premium seating, like box seats. Customer service is not selling anything. It's dealing with people who already bought tickets. Corporate sales are selling to businesses. Ticket operations is things like box office type jobs. And then CRM and analytics is dealing with the customer relation management software and the numbers part of it, trying to develop leads, dealing with compiling data from sales calls. And so as you climb the ladder in sales, you start at entry level ticket sales, and you can go three different ways. You can go to service, you can go to group sales, you can go to new memberships. As you get better in those two things, you end up in a premium type sales. And that can lead you either into managing a group of salespeople, or it can lead you into selling sponsorships. This is just how the Hawks do theirs. They start out at $10 an hour plus overtime and no benefits. You get a 1-year contract. You have a $100,000 sales goal. And those people at entry level are responsible for about 4% of all the sales. If you're in management, you get a percentage of what those people sell. And understand, once they see you can do the job, you're quickly going to grow in how much money you make. So the entry level salesperson is probably going to make about $40,000 the first year. That'll quickly go to 65 and much higher as you get better at your job. Just some traits of successful salespeople: they have to be outgoing and competitive. They have to be very coachable. They have to be genuine. They have to be tough. You're going to hear a lot of no's, and that's hard for some people to do. But it is a job that you can easily find in sport if that is your job. If that's your goal, is to work in a big sport organization, then this is the job for you. Just at the time that this presentation was made, there were 516 sales jobs open just on this one website. So it's a great opportunity, and it's something I would encourage each of you guys to look into.